Welcome to the Human Journey channel, where we'll be looking into the ancient history of mankind. We will also be covering subjects on myths, conspiracy theories, unexplained stories that have captivated the human mind for millennia. Please like, subscribe and share. Today we're going to be talking about 10 ancient artifacts that have baffled many scientists and archaeologists. These are very controversial and there are different theories for these artifacts. Whatever you believe, I have found them extremely interesting and I wish to share them with you today. Number 10. The Antikythera Mechanism. In 1902, the Antikythera Mechanism was discovered in a shipwreck near the island of Antikythera in Greece. It was found by a group of divers who were searching for artifacts such as statues, coins and jewellery. Little did they know that what they discovered was an ancient Greek computer designed to predict astronomical positions. The mechanism was found in a small wooden box. It's a complicated piece of machinery with more than 37 bronze gears, and it dates back to about 150 to 100 BC, which proves that the ancient Greeks were ahead of their time. Number 9. The Baghdad Battery. The Baghdad Battery is a set of ceramic pots with a metallic tube and a rod. At the top, the iron rod is kept separate from the copper by using bitumen. The artifact is said to date from the Parthian period, somewhere between 250 and 224 BC. Its origin and purpose remain a mystery, but several theories have been put forth to explain what the Baghdad Battery was actually used for. Some believe it was for electroplating, others think it was actually used for electricity. Those who support this hypothesis also think lemon juice or vinegar was used to generate this electricity. Number 8. The Peri Reis Map. Late in 1929, Gustav Diesmann, a German theologian, was working in Istanbul at Topkapi Palace Library. While cataloguing antique items, he found a gazelle skin parchment in a stack of discarded items. This parchment had a map drawn on it, and Diesmann was amazed to see that it appeared to show the outline of South America. He rescued the parchment, which is now known as the Piri Reis Map. The map he studied had been drawn and signed in 1533 by Turkish cartographer Hagi Ahmed Muhuddin Piri, also known as Piri Reis. In addition to being a cartographer, Piri Reis served in the Turkish Navy, for which he held the rank of Admiral. He stated that he had used 20 different maps and charts as his source documents. 8 of them were Ptolemaic maps, maps of the known world according to the 2nd century Hellenistical Greek society. 4 were Portuguese maps, 1 was an Arabic map, and 1 was drawn by Christopher Columbus. This simple piece of preserved gazelle skin has been the basis of intense controversy in the world of cartography. For one thing, the map appears to show Antarctica almost 300 years before it was discovered. Not only does it show Antarctica, but the continent is drawn as a landmass as it would have appeared before it was covered with its ice caps over 6,000 years ago. Adding to this controversy, Professor Charles Hapgood published a book in 1965 called The Maps of the Ancient Sea Kings. Professor Hapgood and his students theorized that the Piri Reis Map had to have been based on information older than 4000 BC. This is long before any known sophisticated civilization or well-defined language. The map introduces the theory of an ancient civilization that had the skills to navigate the world's oceans and accurately chart the lands they visited. Number 7. The Nebra Sky Disk. The Nebra Sky Disk is a 3,600-year-old bronze disc, which is such an extraordinary piece that it was initially believed to be an archaeological forgery. However, detailed scientific analysis revealed that it is indeed authentic, and the precious artifact is now included in UNESCO's Memory of the World Register. The Nebra Sky Disk was discovered in Ziegelerode Forest, Saxony-Anhalt, Germany. It had been ritually buried in a prehistoric enclosure atop a hill, along with 2 precious swords, 2 axes, 2 spiral arm rings and 1 bronze chisel. The disc measures approximately 30 centimeters in diameter and weighs about 2.2 kilograms. It's decorated with blue-green patina and inlaid with gold symbols. These are interpreted generally as a sun or full moon, a lunar crescent and stars, including a cluster interpreted as the Pleiades. 2 golden arcs along the side were added later. The 2 arcs span an angle of 82 degrees, correctly indicating the angle between the positions of the sunset at summer and winter solstices, at the latitude of where the artifact was discovered. A final addition was another arc at the bottom surrounded with multiple strokes of uncertain meaning. Some have interpreted this as a solar barge or sunboat, or as the Milky Way. Now we know the much older Stonehenge, which was designed to follow the stars and the solstices and the moon cycles. However, this disc is the oldest known portable instrument to allow such measurements. Number 6. The Divje Babe Flute. The oldest musical instrument ever discovered is believed to be the Divje Babe Flute, discovered in a cave in Slovenia in 1995. The item is a fragment of the femur of a cave bear, which has been dated at 60,000 to 43,000 years old, which has been pierced with spaced holes. Scientists who could not accept the possibility that Neanderthals were playing music rejected the claim and said that the perfectly spaced and neatly carved holes are in fact the result of the bone fragment having been chewed by an animal. However, if you look at the picture of the bone, can you see scratch marks? Does it look like it's been chewed to pieces by an animal? Or does it look like the holes have been deliberately placed there to make it some kind of instrument? The more popular and growing theory now, however, is that the Divje Babe Flute is actually a musical instrument and is changing our viewpoint of Neanderthals, considering them to be possibly more advanced than they were and not just uncultured brutes going around hitting things and hunter-gathering. This shows that they were starting to develop some kind of culture and that they enjoyed things that we also enjoy today, things such like music. Number 5. The London Hammer. In June 1936, Max Hahn and his wife Emma were on a walk near London, Texas, when they noticed a rock with wood protruding from its core. They decided to take the oddity home and later cracked it open with a hammer and chisel. Ironically, what they found within seemed to be an archaic hammer of sorts. They turned it to a team of archaeologists who checked it, and it turns out the rock encasing the hammer was dated to about 400 million years ago. There is some question regarding the dating though, but here's the key point. According to initial measurements, the hammer itself turned out to be more than 500 million years old. Apparently it's so old that a section of the handle has begun to transform into coal. The only true method of determining the age of the hammer is through carbon-14 dating of the wooden handle, but this has not yet been authorized. However, because the handle appears to be partially fossilized, this certainly adds to the argument that it is a very ancient tool. But fossilization can occur prematurely through various natural methods. To skeptics, the hammer appears to be a tool that was abandoned or lost some 200 years ago. But to its supporters, This is a clear indication that man has been on this earth much longer than previously thought. Number 4. The Dropa Discs. In 1938, an expedition led by archaeologist Dr. Chipu Tei into the Bayan Karu Ula in China made an astonishing discovery. Nearby caves held traces of an ancient culture. Buried under a thick layer of dust, hundreds of stone discs lay scattered about the cave's interior. There seemed to be nothing spectacular initially, but the discs turned out to be eerily similar to phonograph records, 9 inches in diameter, a circle cut into their centre, and an obvious spiral groove. They are believed to be more than 10,000 years old. But the spiral, as it turns out, is composed of tiny hieroglyphs. When studied and translated, it was revealed that these discs tell amazing stories of spaceships that crashed into the mountains, piloted by people who called themselves the Dropa. At least that's what Sun Nui, the Chinese researcher in charge of the Dropa stones, concluded. While his announcement startled the world at first, he was subsequently ridiculed by most of the scientific community, and he went on a self-imposed exile in Japan. Russian researchers requested the discs for studying, and China actually sent a few to Moscow. In the famous Soviet magazine Sputnik, Dr. Vyacheslav Sazev describes an experiment where the discs were supposedly placed on a special turntable whereby they were shown to vibrate or hum in an unusual rhythm, as though an electric charge is passing through them. However, research wasn't continued, or at least it wasn't made public. As of today, there is no clear information where the Dropa stones are stored, or what modern research has concluded on them. They remain one of the most mysterious artifacts in the world. Number 3. The Ica Stones. In the 1930s, Dr. Javier Cabrera received the gift of a strange stone from a local farmer. The stone so intrigued the doctor that he began collecting others, eventually boasting a collection of more than 1,100 andesite stones. Estimated to be between 500 and 1,500 years old, the stones have become known as the Ica Stones. The stones bear etchings, many of which are sexually graphic. Some depict idols, whilst others depict such practices as open heart surgery and brain transplants. The most astonishing etchings, however, clearly represent dinosaurs: brontosauruses, triceratops, stegosauruses, and pterosaurs. Interestingly, the first recorded dinosaur fossil wasn't recorded until the 18th century. So if these etchings are genuine, how did these ancient people know what these different species of dinosaur look like in the flesh? While skeptics consider the Ica Stones as a hoax, their authenticity has neither been proved nor disproved. Number 2. The giant stone spheres of Costa Rica. No one knows what they are or how they were made. Interestingly, the indigenous people who have placed the spheres to their respective locations claim that they were not the builders. The natives took the spheres as a sign from the gods and consider them to be of great importance. The massive spheres of Costa Rica were discovered in 1939 after an area in southern Costa Rica was cleared to plant bananas. More than 300 spheres of unknown origin were found, and experts were left baffled. The only thing that is known for sure is that they were placed in their site sometime around 300 BC. The spheres are proof of incredible masonry skills, and research from University of Pennsylvania shows that the spheres were 96% perfect. The age of the spheres is an ongoing debate, but according to many, the spheres go back between 800 and 1200 BC. Some believe that the spheres are much older than researchers believe them to be. Furthermore, the spheres are composed of extremely hard rock, and the weight of the largest sphere exceeds 16 tons. But most importantly, these ancient spheres are incredible because they were not placed randomly, but follow an intricate scheme which researchers have identified throughout the years. The spheres are unique. In fact, there is no other set of spheres equal by extension and perfection anywhere in the world, which is why they have been declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. It's one of the greatest mysteries scholars are unable to solve. Number 1. The Sumerian Star Map. A cuneiform clay tablet was recovered in the late 19th century from the underground library of King Ashurbanipal in Nineveh, Iraq. It was discovered by Sir Henry Layard, and it has puzzled scientists for over 100 years. According to scholars, this incredible yet controversial tablet indicates that ancient Sumerians observed the impact of an Aten-type asteroid over 5,000 years ago. The Aten asteroids are a group of near-Earth asteroids resonant with the Earth's orbit. More precisely, this tablet is believed to be a copy of a set of notes made by a Sumerian astronomer that observed the skies, referring to the asteroid as a white stone bowl approaching. Researchers now believe that the size and route of the asteroid tracked by this star map are consistent with the asteroid that crashed into the Austrian Alps at Kofels, creating a cataclysmic impact, killing anyone in its path, with a force equivalent to more than 1,000 tons of TNT exploding. Even though around 40% of the inscriptions of the tablet have been wiped from history, half of the still visible symbols actually speak of the asteroid, while the other half describes the position of the constellations. Interestingly, the ancient Sumerians had what looks like our solar system imprinted on a cylinder seal, which shows that our planet was the 7th planet. Why? Well, coming from outside our solar system, we would be the 7th planet in. This is very controversial, however, but if true, and along with the Sumerian Star Map, the ancient Sumerians had a knowledge of the stars that would not be discovered for many thousands of years. So there we go, just 10 ancient artifacts I thought I would share with you. Obviously they're controversial and everybody has their own ideas, but I found them interesting. I do apologise for a lot of my pronunciation because they were very difficult to say a lot of these words, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Please share and subscribe and tick the notification button for more videos. And again, thanks for watching.